Well, we last had Kai Havertz links to Arsenal in 2018-2019. In those 2 years, Kai Havertz was so much linked to Arsenal, and ever since then he crossed to Chelsea. We haven't had any proper story linking him to Arsenal. And this time round, one of the flies on the walls of Chelsea has gone ahead to reveal to us that Kai Havertz is next Arsenal target. Guys, it's really surprising, but in the transfer window, everything is possible and everything is impossible. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. This is the Football News Show, and we are going to bring you Kai Havertz, next Arsenal target. We are having Zinedine Zidane in, being linked to a move to PSG. Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to react to that. Then Kane is another one that we're going to talk about, why Real Madrid looks like they've gone ahead to choose for him and obviously make a very huge alternation onto their decision they had made earlier before on signing a young striker, and now they are going in for a 30-year-old striker, and Spurs is calling in for ridiculous money to get the signature of Kane. Rokani David is my name. Let's see close to 100 or 200 likes smashed on this video, and obviously this is the Rokani Media Football. Now let's kickstart off with Kai Havertz, and he was recently linked to a move to Real Madrid, and Fabrizio has just gone ahead to drop a bomb, and I'm also going to bring you that bomb. He has just gone ahead to drop about Kai Havertz that can act as a catalyst to see to it that Kai Havertz maybe joins Arsenal. This is Alex Goldberg. He's a Chelsea fan, on Patreon and on YouTube. Patreon is really one of those websites where news is, and you go ahead and obviously pay for it. So it shows you that if at all he has happened to gather huge numbers from Patreon, right, that means he's really a person who has gone ahead to really be credible. And Patreon is a membership platform operated by Patreon company that provides business tools for content creators to run a subscription fee. It helps creators and artists earn a monthly income by providing rewards and perks to their subscribers. So it shows you that it's really a huge company and a huge website that does positivity in getting content creators money. You have to pay to see to it that you really see his content. He calls himself a Chelsea loudmouth. He's a fly on the walls of Chelsea. He has told us that the next Arsenal target is Kai Havertz. Arsenal as well really want him. To my knowledge, they haven't formally proposed anything to Chelsea yet, as they are more working on the player side of things first. So watch the space. And he was onto the Byline YouTube channel revealing this to the fans of Arsenal and Chelsea. Now, looks like Kai Havertz is one of those players that maybe Pochettino is not interested in keeping. And even if he was interested in keeping the player, there are reasons that don't allow him to keep the player at Chelsea. Why? The financial fair play rules, FFP, don't allow him to keep this player at Chelsea, because Chelsea went ahead to spend stupidly the previous two transfers. In the summer transfer window, Chelsea spent like 300 million. Was it 300? Then in the winter transfer window of January, they spent close to 400 million pounds. So it looks like they need to really offload players, and those that are supposed to be offloaded, Zakaria has gone. Kovacic is going to Man City. Mason Mount wants out, though for him, Chelsea wanted to retain him, but he's forcing a move. N'Golo Kante has gone to Al Ittihad. So, and they are still offloading other players. They need to offload like 10 players to raise in money that Pochettino can spend. Now, when you look at Kai Havertz, I really understand that people have a lot of reservations on him because of what he's doing at Chelsea. He scored the Champions League goal that won Chelsea the Champions League in 2021 under Thomas Tuchel. Mason Mount released him at the halfway of the pitch, and he ran through, obviously, went past Ederson and hit that ball into the back of the net. So, before he was a Chelsea player, he was playing for Bayern Leverkusen, And he was one of those players that Real Madrid wanted, and they had agreed personal terms by then. But because COVID hit them, they couldn't match the realistic valuation of Bayern Leverkusen for the player. Then Chelsea came in through and got that deal over the line. Do you know why? Chelsea had a lot of money to spend that summer. Reason being, they had been banned for close to 2 years without spending any single penny. So they attacked that market hard. By that time, Frank Lampard was the manager of Chelsea. He brought in Kai Havertz. He brought in Timo Werner, Eduardo Mendy, Thiago Silva. You know who else he brought in? He brought in Hakimi Ziyech. So he brought in close to 6 players, and Kai Havertz was among. But ever since he came in at Chelsea, he has not gone ahead to have a decent season, and he has not gone ahead to find himself firing all cylinders. But he has been blowing hot and cold, meaning that he has been inconsistent at the club of Chelsea. But as he's being linked to Arsenal fans might get pissed off. But there are players you look at when what has failed him to become what they're supposed to be is how the manager can really improve them and make them better players at the club. Now, when you look at Arsenal, the kind of forward they want should be able to play as a center forward and a right attacking midfielder where Bukayo Saka plays, or he can play on either fronts, the left attacking side of the midfield and the right attacking side of the midfield. That's why Arsenal are so in for Moussa Diaby, because Moussa Diaby can literally play the front 3 positions. He can play as a left forward, he can lead the line as a false number 9, he can play as a right forward. So that's why they are sold on an idea of really signing him. And even last summer, that's why Mikel Arteta was so much interested in signing Leroy Sane. That's it, because Leroy Sane can play as a left forward and as a right forward. But for Kai Havertz, I believe Arsenal want to sign him for a reason. He can play as a right attacking midfielder, a position where Bukayo Saka has found himself play throughout the season without being rested, because he's the only one they have. But if I don't get in Kai Havertz, he can literally play as a right attacking midfielder. He can play as a false number 9. He can also play as a central attacking midfielder. And by the way, at Leverkusen, he was playing as a central attacking midfielder. So I think Arteta can improve this player and get the best out of him. And for your information, he's not all that old. He's just 23 years of age. That is him. And on the 11th June, that is 2 days from now, he's making 24 years. He's still young. So if you get in Kai Havertz with his experience, I think he can get you the best that you people deserve. And I think he was unlucky that the years he came in at Chelsea was really staggering, It had not yet gotten back to its ground. And by the time he tried to get back to its ground with Thomas Tuchel, then Abramovich was forced to sell the club. And obviously, that's when Tony Boyle came in through and started to spend stupidly. But the previous season, he played 35 games, 7 goals and 1 assist. That is Kai Havertz for you. In the Champions League, he played 10 games and scored 2 goals. And I think Arsenal is so much looking at players that really have experience in the Champions League. I think Mikel Arteta is sold onto an idea of seeing his team lift the Champions League or go far in the Champions League, like maybe being knocked all out of the semi-finals or the finals. Because when you look at the players that Arsenal are really targeting, they are really talented and they're having some huge Champions League experience. Look at João Cancelo, Champions League experience, huge. Kai Havertz, in there for you, huge experience. Declan Rice, he just won a trophy yesterday, but he's a very decent player. Moise Caicedo, another good player, but they feel like you can get in Moise Caicedo, Declan Rice, and Madison and James Maddison. Those are not holding Champions League experience. And then you bring in João Cancelo, huge Champions League experience. Then you add on maybe Kai Havertz, huge Champions League experience, scoring in the finale that won the Champions League for Chelsea recently in 2021. Then you add on the experience of Gabriel Jesus, used to play in the Champions League ever since he came in at Man City. Alexander Zinchenko. So if I told you have 4 players who have enough Champions League experience, I think they can take you far to see to it that everything goes as planned. And I want Arsenal fans to really be rest assured on this player. If he was not all that good, Real Madrid wouldn't have gone in for him. and Real Madrid have been chasing in for the signature of Kai Havertz, but what has pulled them out of this deal is simple: the amount of money that Chelsea is asking for Kai Havertz. And to be on record, it's Fabrizio Romano that has gone ahead to report this story. He has told us that Real Madrid announced intention to pay 60 million euros plus add-ons for Kai Havertz. He's appreciated by the board and Carlo Ancelotti, but no plan to spend that amount of money. Havertz situation will be discussed on the next days. Chelsea expect more clubs to approach them. Now, you see that the other guy, Goldberg, has gone ahead and told us that Arsenal is talking to his agents. After they are done talking to his agents, they are going to come out and obviously talk to Chelsea. That means they want to first get an assurance that they are going to be given green light to sign the player. That's what Arsenal really want to get from Kai Havertz first. When they get it, they approach Chelsea. And that's why Fabrice has told you that Chelsea expect more clubs to approach them, and Arsenal might be one of those to approach Chelsea. And add those dots. The other story and this story of Fabrizio Romano, when you add those dots, what comes to your mind? Don't you see that there is interest coming in from Arsenal? That's it. And we can't wait to see whether they are going to go ahead and really get him in. But Real Madrid don't want to pay 60 million euros. That's like 53 million pounds for Kai Havertz, something that they're not sold on to make a move for. But I think Chelsea are making it hard for teams to really get players. But when you look at Kai Havertz, I think for him, he's still tied at least on a little bit longer contract. But they are calling 50 million pounds for Mason Mount, and they are calling 70 million pounds for Mason Mount, and they are calling for 50 million pounds for Kai Havertz. How stupid are they? Kai Havertz is a more talented player that very many teams can come in and obviously look for him, right? So when you look at Kai Havertz, he signed for Chelsea in 2020 and his contract runs down until 2025. 2 years left on his contract. They are calling for 50 million pounds. And for Mason Mount, who is left with just 1 year on his contract, they're asking for 70 million pounds. Are they insane? They need to get they need to get rehabilitated, because their heads need to get back in the line. How can you say that Mason Mount is going for 70 million pounds when he has had his worst season ever in the Premier League, and Kai Havertz, who has been at least playing, has been charged for 50 million pounds? What's Chelsea all about? You know, they need to really get themselves to where they deserve to be and obviously make the realistic evaluation. And for your information, United is preparing its first bid for Mason Mount. Now, let's go to the Harry Kane situation. And this is Jose Felix Diaz, close source to Real Madrid and in Spain. He's one of those that really breaks stories. He works for Marca, and you know how what Marca is when it comes to Real Madrid. It's the closest source that Real Madrid uses to brief its other journalists, and he works there. So that means he's getting it from the source of Real Madrid. He has told us that Real Madrid's plan before Karim Benzema left was to sign a young striker this summer, but after he left, they decided to sign a proven world-class striker, which is why they chose Harry Kane. And I think for Real Madrid, they are really backing so much onto the young Brazilian that's going to come in through in the next 2 years. That is Endrick when he's 18, because they signed him at 65 million euros when he's just 16 years of age. He needs to play at Palmeiras for the next 2 years, and then he's going to come in through and obviously take over this number or the forward line of Real Madrid. Endrick, he's really a very young player, 16 years of age, and obviously in July 21 he's making 17 years of age, meaning that next summer he might find himself at Real Madrid. He has gone ahead to play 2 matches for Palmeiras, and obviously he has found himself in a position of scoring 1 goal. 2 games, 1 goal at the age of 16. He's really firing in all cylinders. So he's really a very good player that has gone ahead to really convince Madrid that they can go ahead and really get him on and do them. That's why they've decided to go in for Harry Kane, who is going to come in through and obviously be here for 2-3 years, then he leaves. So that means they've gone ahead to put all their hope in Endrick and maybe Kylian Mbappe, that they believe next summer he's going to come out and really leave as a free agent from the PSG side. Talking about PSG, there are rumors coming in from France that Zinedine Zidane has gone ahead to agree a contract with PSG, but this has been rubbished via the Aramis Sports, and Fabrizio Romano brought us the story that Zinedine Zidane's camp have denied any contact with Paris Saint-Germain. As ZZ reported, turned down manager job, no direct contact took place with Zidane. His camp told RMC Sport coming in from France. Now, Zinedine Zidane has been in sabbatical for very many years. If at all you remember, after winning 3 trophies for Real Madrid, Zinedine Zidane found himself go on and really rest, and when he rested, he found himself in a position of being called back when Real Madrid was really doing bad, and he came back and secured them a league, but he never won the Champions League. I think that was in 2019, 2021. He left in 2018, then he left after they sacked the manager that was there, and obviously he went in and coached them from 2019 to 2021, and he really left. That is Zinedine Zidane. So ever since then, he has been linked to very many clubs. He was linked to the team I support, Man United. He has been linked he has been linked to Tottenham Hotspur. He has been linked to Chelsea. He has been linked to PSG. He has been linked to Bayern Munich and very many others, but it looks like he was so much sold out on an idea to go on and coach or manage the French national team. But guess what? Deschamps has been added 4 more years, meaning that he's going to be at the French national team for the next 4 years. And is Zinedine Zidane going to be hiding forever? We don't know. So it's only the heavens that know when he's going to get back to the job of management. But he went ahead and really won 3 consecutive Champions League trophies for Real Madrid, and he really did it from 2016, 2017, 2018. They won those trophies and he really left. So that is it I had for you now. What do you make about Kai Havertz, next Arsenal target? Your thoughts are welcome in the comment section below. Then, Harry Kane, Real Madrid changing their plan. Before the start of the summer transfer window, they wanted to bring in a player who is young and a striker like Victor Osimhen, Dusan Vlahovic, Goncalo Ramos, name it. But they've changed their plan. They want to bring in Harry Kane, a 30-year-old striker. Are they on the right track? Yes or no? And lastly, Zinedine Zidane, when do you think he's going to return to the touchline? I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out. Bye-bye and good night.